Hi there, you're listening to the Estranged Heart podcast, and I'm your host, Kreed Revere. Welcome back to our returning listeners, and if this is your first time here, thank you for selecting this podcast to listen to. As we begin today's episode, I invite you to grab a cup of coffee or tea, settle in, and listen with an open heart. But first, the regular disclaimer. I am not a licensed therapist or counselor. Nothing within this podcast should be considered or taken as therapy. If you are in need of therapeutic support such as counseling, please seek out a therapist near you. Hi there, welcome back. Before we dive into today's episode, just a couple of short announcements and reminders. Congratulations again to the four parents and adult children who reconnected through the Estranged Heart in the month of July. I'm super proud of the big brave that everyone demonstrated in order to have those reconciliations happen. So congratulations again. Super proud of all of you. There will be a new cohort of support groups starting the week of September 9th, 2024. If you're interested in those, please send me an email, theestrangedheart@gmail.com, and I'm happy to get you on the list to be notified of all the details. And that those emails will go out towards the end of end of August. If you're interested, those run for 8 weeks. There will be a group for estranged moms. There will be a group for recently reconciled moms, and we'll try the estranged adult children in September as well. So if you're interested in any one of those groups, please send me an email. I'll get you on the list. Super excited about, again, the things coming in the fall. They will come about in October, which is the third anniversary of the Estranged Heart podcast. And that month, October, will be our 3 years. So lots of things coming that I'm super excited about, some new programs, a new format for the actual podcast. So things are changing, but I think that they're changing for good. And as we all know, in the estrangement world, change is necessary. So I hope that you'll find these changes beneficial and helpful for you. And finally, if you're interested in coaching one-on-one with me, please reach out. I'm happy to see if we're a good fit for one another. And also for those of you who may have been interested in coaching in the past, but for financial reasons, it was a little out of your budget. There are payment options available now. So if that might be helpful for you, please reach out. For any of these things, you can contact me at theestrangedheart@gmail.com. So on to today's episode. And today's episode is titled Dear Estranged Mom, I see you, I hear you, I validate your feelings. And our quote of the day is, to validate someone is to communicate with them in such a way that you elicit their embodied experience of feeling seen, heard, accepted, valued, and loved for who they are in the moment as they are. And that is by Dr. Robin Bear. So today's episode came about after working with several of my coaching clients, being in my online Facebook support group, as well as my Zoom support groups. And moms have really been struggling over these last few weeks. And I think it's important for me to acknowledge that and me to talk to estranged moms. So if you are an estranged adult child, this may not be an episode that you might want to listen to. Totally okay to zip on out of here right now. And if you want to stick around, that's fine too. But today I'm talking to estranged moms. I want to say that even though I am reconciled with my daughters and I've reconciled with my mom, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about when I was estranged from my daughters and my mom. And I vividly remember those feelings. And I want to talk to you moms today because I feel like you don't get the recognition of the depth of pain and sadness and confusion and frustration and all the things, all the feelings that you feel when your children walk away from you. For so many, it's a time of deep despair, a time of deep unknowing, a time of, oh my gosh, just a frustration from not understanding. And I want you to know that I see you. I hear you. It's very difficult to sit in those spaces and feel the things that we feel as moms in the cultures that we're raised in, to be that perfect mom, to recognize that we may have failed brings about an intense amount of shame. And by and large, I know that the moms I've worked with, the moms I interact with, no one set out to harm their child. I know that. I know that I did not set out to hurt my children. I had no idea that that's what I was doing. So when we are met with, "You're not safe for me. You're selfish. You're so narcissistic." All the labels that are placed on us. It's natural for the human soul to reject that, to fight back, to deny, to defend, to do all the things that we do when our intention in raising our children was to do it differently than our parents did and to do it with love. I know that moms love their children. And I know there may be some people out here in the world that say, no, that's not true. And I'm going to disagree with that. They may not have shown it in a way that someone else could understand. But I've not met a mom who hasn't deeply loved her child. And when we have poured out the things that we've poured out, the survival mode that we have potentially been in for the bulk of our life, and not recognizing that that's what we were doing, that we were in survival mode when we were children because of our traumas back then, we don't realize that until we experience the trauma of estrangement. And then it's as if all of these feelings come flooding back to us. Maybe we were rejected within the family because we were the black sheep of the family. Maybe we were rejected from the family because of our anger. Maybe we were rejected from the family because um, we were just the silent one and not really participatory within the family. And so if we grew up with that, we have children, we do all the things that we know how to do in the moment that we're doing them, to then be rejected by our children, re it's like a re-traumatization. It re-traumatizes us, and it triggers all of the old traumas from the past. And I want to say that I see you in that. I understand that. And I understand how deeply unsettling that is. And I'm here to tell you that yes, it is trauma when your children walk away from you. And especially if it's done in a verbally violent way, or if it's done quietly, where they just stop communicating with you and you're left wondering what has happened. I don't understand. I know that I talk on this podcast and I teach this in all of the work that I do with my clients and those in support groups. Yes, our children have told us. Yes, they need to do what they need to do. However, it doesn't diminish the pain, the heartache, the fear that it places you as a parent in. And I want you to know that all of those feelings are valid. All of those feelings are real, they're legitimate. You feel them, you feel the ache, you feel the absence, you feel the loneliness. When we give of ourselves in the only ways that we know how to give of ourselves, and to then be told, sorry, but that wasn't good enough. It's so unbelievably painful. When I work with adult children, I try to help them to understand that there are parents who truly do not understand what this estrangement is about. And I get that. I understand that. And I want you to know that I understand that. When parents do the work, when you, mom, are doing the work and you ask me, my goodness, it's been a year, it's been a year and a half, it's been 3 years since I've seen them or talked to them. How are they ever going to know that I get it now, that I understand now, and that I am doing the work to make the changes? And we have to sit in that space of they may never know. That's hard. It's really, really hard. Everything we do as parents are generally for our children. If we are doing things that are not in the best interest of our children, it is most likely because we are acting from our trauma places, the places we've been traumatized in the past, and we're trying to numb out from that. We're trying to figure out a way to work through that pain while we're having to still live life and move on and do all the things. And for mothers, it seems to be, there's this societal shaming when we screw up, when we don't get it right. Society says, how could you screw up so bad? And that to me is just so unfair. I look through the lens of trauma at everything in life. When I have moms who come to me who are angry and frustrated and they are firmly in victim mode, I know that they are speaking from their traumatized parts, if we're to use IFS language here. They're either speaking from their traumatized parts, their protector parts, they're trying to protect them and manage the things, their protector parts, their manager parts, their firefighter parts. Everybody is acting out of their traumas. And I want you to know that I see that, I understand that, and that needs to be honored. Your pain, your heartache needs to be honored. It's not a place for us to unpack and live there forever, but we must validate those feelings. The only way to be able to heal and move through that pain, to move through the, the stance of victimhood, is to heal our traumas. And most of those for moms are traumas that happened in their childhood, young adulthood years. So I just wanted you to know that on the days when it's really, really hard, in the days when you are deeply, deeply missing your kids, on the days when you feel alone in the world, those feelings are valid. They're so valid. If you would like support, even if it's, this is the thing with my coaching clients, they say to me, even if my kids don't ever reconnect with me, I feel better because of the work that we've done together. That I'm able to move on with my life in a way where I can function daily and I can find some joyful moments and feel like I have purpose in my life again. And if I can help with that, please let me know. It's hard. When our children are hurting, we are hurting. When our children blame us and point fingers, it's really hard to sit with that and say, yep, they were right. I hurt them. It's hard to come to that. I wasn't able to do it until I was validated by my therapist for all of my hurts and my pains. It's not up to your children to validate you. That's not their place. Find a support professional who can do that for you. And I just want to say this too. I hear moms say, well, I have my best friend, or I have a group of friends who do a really good job at validating me. And while our friends and our other family members are really important, and we should not, allow them to help us through this process, most of them do not know what validation is. And there is a difference in validation and playing at a girl, I've got your back, and screw those kids of yours because you deserve better. That's not validation. That is not validation. When we validate someone, we do not throw someone else under the bus. And whether you recognize it or not, it's probably bothersome to you on some level for other people to throw your kids under the bus. And that's why things don't seem to be getting better, or they get better for a short period of time, and then we fall back into old patterns and into victimhood and all of those things. Validation will help you to move through that and not have to return to that place of victimhood. So, again, if I can be of support, please reach out. Find me by email or go to my website, theestrangedheart.com, and contact me through the website. I want you to know that you are important, that you have value in this world. You have meaning. You are needed here. You were someone before you became a mom. And it's important to find that person again so we can help to heal your mama heart. So I'm going to leave it here for today. Again, if I can help, please let me know. Please be gentle with yourself. This is hard stuff. It's difficult. There are so many emotions and a lot of negativity that comes with estrangement, especially for moms. And I want you to know that I see that you were trying. You loved the only way you knew how to love. And maybe your kids can't see that right now. But I want you to know that I see that. I see that for you. Please be gentle with your heart. Until next time. This brings this episode to a close. I hope that this time together was time you feel well spent, and that you are able to find some takeaway nuggets to help you on your journey, wherever you may be on your estrangement and reconciliation path. If you feel you've received something helpful or positive from this podcast, please consider following us, sharing this podcast with others, leaving a positive review, perhaps entertaining becoming a guest on our show, or following us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under the same name, The Estranged Heart. As a reminder, there is an online support group on Facebook. If you are a estranged mom who identifies as being spiritual and approaches estrangement with a sense of curiosity rather than blame and judgment, and desire to do inner self-work and reflection, please seek us out. We can be found at facebook.com/estranged mothers support group. And lastly, if you are an estranged parent or an estranged adult child and would like to have your story shared on the podcast, anonymously or not, please reach out to me via email at theestrangedheart@gmail.com.